Hello again. This is going to be a very short video, but I finally got my fourth and last book published. And the reason it took me so long is because I finished writing it about 2 weeks before my wife's suicide. And considering that fact, and the fact that she's the one that came up with the title of this book, I just didn't have the heart to get it published. But to honor her, I feel she would have wanted me to get it published. So this is my latest book. I just received my own copy. It's called Christians Believe What? Why? By the Why Guy. And here's the back cover. Okay? I'll read you the synopsis just to maybe wet your whistle a little bit. It says, many within Christendom will consider this book heretical, while others will applaud it. Are your most basic, traditionally held beliefs ready to be challenged? If you're fat and sassy, thinking you have all the answers simply because you own a Bible, then it's time to get off your religious couch and ask yourself, why do I believe what I believe? And be ready to defend it with facts rather than just belief. The chapters in this book are not the ramblings of a madman who's discontented with Christianity. The thoughts and ideas from an author who truly wants to love God with all of his heart, mind, soul, and strength, as well as to love you, the reader, as himself. If you remember nothing else while reading this synopsis, remember this passage from 1 Corinthians 13:12. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as also I am known. The Why Guy. Anyway, it's amazing. I haven't done any videos in over a year other than just a private one, and I'm still getting subscribers. It just surprises me. For my new subscribers, just let me give you a hint here that the first book was called In Defense of God's Love. My second book is called Is God Bipolar? And my third book is called No Love, No Fear, No Love, No Fear. Okay, now in closing this video, my newest book is going to be the most challenging. It's going to rock more boats than all the other 3 books combined. There are 3 chapters dedicated just to the one word, sacrifice. 3 full chapters for that. Most are not going to like it because it goes against their traditions. So let me just give you a hint of what those 3 chapters defend. Kia. Jesus was sacrificed, but he was not a sacrifice. I hope you can see that. I hope for those who read this will understand why I said it that way. I'll give you an analogy that I think I used in this book. Kia, come on. A fireman running into a burning building and dies trying to save someone. He was sacrificed, or better put, he sacrificed his own life to save others, but he was not a sacrifice. He was not something that was put on a pagan altar with his throat slit and his blood, and is that what they use in witchcraft and occult rituals, was not offered to a vengeful, angry god like Moloch. No, Jesus was not a sacrifice. So when you read that in Scripture, I want to encourage you to consider what I just said. Okay? how else can I put this? This isn't scripted at all, folks. This was an impulse to do this video. Think about Cain and Abel. The very first mention of sacrifice in all of Scripture was mentioned in Genesis. Nowhere is it mentioned that God required that of them. That should tell you something. So someone else came up with the idea. Cain and Abel and Adam and Eve and their brothers and sisters were not the only people living on earth at the time. Use critical thinking and realize that someone else besides God came up with it. And I will prove to you biblically in this book, in those 3 chapters, that God did not delight in a sacrifice. God did not want a sacrifice, and it was never his idea.